Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Jason with Jadren Aquatics. Thanks for joining me again. So today we are going to talk about breeding cherry shrimp, but not just cherry shrimp, any type of Neocardinia. I've got quite a few tanks that I've got Neocardinias breeding in. I think I have about 9 now, and then I have some other tanks that I've been putting them in. I'd like to show you guys some of the different ways that I'm doing and see where I'm having more success and possibly less success than some of the other ones. So let's go ahead and let's move over to the aquarium and check out what's going on. Alright, so here is my first cherry shrimp tank, and so that you guys know, all the shrimp and the dragonstone and the cholla wood and just about every single thing that you see in these tanks, I get all of it from Flip Aquatics. That's where I buy all of my shrimp stuff. I do have some cherry shrimp that were given to me in a different tank. I'll show you those in a minute. Those guys are a lot lighter color than these are. You see these guys are just absolutely just red and popping with color. So let's talk about tank size first. Now, these tanks that I have, these all going in, these are all 10-gallon tanks, but I would suggest that you would use a 20-gallon tank. I just think it seems to work better. It seems like on the 10-gallon tank, when the shrimp kind of get to a certain population, they seem to kind of slow down. It's like they know the tank is getting too full. So I would suggest that you would use a 20-gallon long would be the best type breeding situation. That gives you the ability, you can get 3, 4, I've heard people have 500 sometimes in a 20-gallon long. Now, as far as everything else that's in the tank, like substrate, that's not really, doesn't really matter what you end up using. You know, just it's personal preference from there on out. But all the stuff that you have in there, the wood, the driftwood, the rock, that just creates surface area for biofilm to build up on, for microorganisms to build up on, because that is what these cherry shrimp are going to want to eat. And they are looking for a very stable environment with food, and they're immediately going to start breeding. So whenever you first go out and you're trying to pick what shrimp you want, my suggestion would be you pick about 10 different ones. They typically have to be more kind of an adult size for you to tell males from females. Typically the way, let's see if we can get on one of them. Let's look at this one right here. This one actually appears to be a female. If you look at the abdomen, it's a much wider or kind of deeper, fatter abdomen. That's where she carries the eggs at, and the males don't typically have that. The females will also have more kind of a curved tail from how they hold on to the eggs also. But I wouldn't spend a lot of time, you know, looking and trying to determine, you know, trying to pick you know, a certain amount of males and a certain amount of females. It's easier just buy 10 of them, and you're going to get a most likely a healthy balance of males and females. I want to give you guys a shot of a buried female. That is a female that's carrying eggs. As you can see her there, right there. You can see that she's got a bunch of eggs attached to her underside. Yeah, these are some orange pumpkins, but I can't find any of my cherries that are currently carrying eggs. But so that you know that she'll carry probably 30 to 50 eggs in there, and then within about 30 days those things will begin to hatch and will come out as little bitty tiny shrimp. If you guys are enjoying this video, I would love for you to hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see some of the other content that I put out. I'm putting out tremendous amount of content, and you don't want to miss the next video that comes out. Now, this tank that I have set up here, this one has been set up for almost 2 years now. This one is way too overgrown for my taste. Now, it's good that the shrimp have a lot of place to forage around, because again, they are constantly looking for microorganisms or algae, or just any type of algae that's in the water for them to feast on. So since I have so much stuff in here, that provides a tremendous amount of area for them to look around on. But this one is kind of just overgrown now to the point where there's just too much, and I think it's actually cutting back on the amount that are actually reproducing now, because it's like 40 to 50% of the tank space is taken by the guppy grass, and then you can see here we have some Java moss. And then I think there's some hair algae that typically grows in here also. The hair algae is actually really good for them. They love to forage on that stuff, but it can get out of hand. So typically every month I have to pull a whole bunch of hair algae out of some of these tanks because it just begins to take it over and absolutely choke out the light. As you can see right here, that's an example of one where this hair algae is just starting to get completely out of hand. But again, the shrimp absolutely love it because it gives them so many places to eat. Now, as far as giving them a certain kind of food to help them to get breeding, again, it's not really anything specific. They're scavengers, so they eat just about anything. As you can see in here right now, every once in a while I like to give them green beans, but there's lots of different shrimp food that's on the market that you can get, and they like just about any of it. But you don't have to feed them very much. It just doesn't take that much to feed them. But one of the things that I do like to do is in every single one of my tanks, I like to have at least 1 or 2 mystery snails because it kind of provides a symbiotic relationship. The snails will get some of the food that maybe the shrimp end up missing. There's also another really good product that you can buy. It's called Bacter X. I actually don't have any right now, but I do use it quite a bit. It's a powder that you put in the water that causes biofilm to begin to grow. You just release it into the water, and then it kind of covers everything in there and allows that biofilm to grow that these guys absolutely love to eat. So again, the main thing that you're trying to do whenever you're breeding cherry shrimp is you just want to give them a stable environment. That's really the main thing. So as far as like water changes go, you don't have to change water very often. I typically only do 10% every month or two. Sometimes I've even gone longer than that. Again, you don't want to just change the water on them big amounts at a time because that's what they don't like, because that's the type of thing that's going to get them to stop breeding. Again, they don't release a tremendous amount of waste, so they just don't get the tank that dirty. So again, you just want to focus on keeping stable parameters. When the snail goes to the bathroom or poops in the water, the shrimp love to eat that. It's absolutely just perfect for them. You'll see there's a bunch of ram's horn snails in here also. These aren't ones I purposely put in here, but again, they work out good too. But you do have to be careful at some point. You don't want them to get too many in here because they will begin to outcompete the shrimp for food. So you need to keep those under control. Now, in every single one of these shrimp tanks I have, it's just shrimp and snails only. But what I wanted to try is I had heard from Corey from Aquarium Co-op that he likes to keep his shrimp with fish. But one of the things about it is that same symbiotic relationship where the fish will go to the bathroom or poop in the water, and then the shrimp love to eat that poop. So what I decided to do is I decided to take some of the shrimp that I had, since I was reproducing so many of them, and I began to just kind of throw them into some of my community tanks. And so as I began to throw them into my community tanks, I was pretty surprised. For instance, this is one of the community tanks I have here. This is a 40-gallon breeder. You can see I've got all sorts of different types of fish in here. I've got cories, I've got some neons, I've got multiple different plecostomus. So there's different things in here that will eat the baby shrimp, but there's a lot of different places for them to hide. But as you can see, I put about 5 or 10 of these shrimp in here, and now there's literally just hundreds of them. I didn't put a specific color in here. I took ones, just some from each tank that I had. I have just about every color that you can get. As you can see, as they begin to breed, some of them will kind of start to go back to a wild type, kind of like that one is. It's kind of that brownish color. But then again, you see some that are coming out in greens and oranges and reds. But what I've noticed using them in this community tank setting, they seem to propagate a whole lot faster. They just keep having more and more babies in here. So again, I think that symbiotic relationship that they have between the fish and also the snails allows them just even a better food source. And I think also having them in an aquarium this big also allows them to breed much quicker. And here is another aquarium that I have that is a community type setup, where I've got some celestial pearl danios. I got some cories, and I've also got some other plecostomus. But as you can see up in the guppy grass, these things are just absolutely littered everywhere. And you can see there's a lot of cover that's provided for them. So I really like the way these things are breeding in this community type setting. Now, of course, you know, some of the fish are picking off some of the babies, but I think for the most part, most of them are surviving. Look, there's another really good shot of a buried female. You can see all those babies that are up under her. And of course, this is another cherry shrimp tank. This is one. These are some ones that someone gave me a while back that I've just let continue to breed. One thing you'll notice again, as these things breed, they don't always breed true. My first set of cherry shrimp that I got from Flip Aquatics, those guys, I haven't seen any of the colors coming out of them, but these, you'll see there's some oranges that are kind of starting to come out of them, and you can also see that the color is a lot dimmer. So there's the comparison. There's those. And there's those cherry shrimp are they're just so much brighter. And then again, there's lots of different colors. These are fantasy blues. See, those guys look beautiful. These guys are Bloody Mary. These guys are like a deeper red. They're not necessarily, they're from a different wild type than cherry shrimp are from. They kind of just create a different color. And up here, these are orange pumpkins. You can see some of these kind of aren't breeding true. There's a few red ones and some yellow ones in them. There's another buried female. And then here we have some green jades. Green jades are some of the ones that definitely don't breed true at all. You can see lots of different colors. There are reds and oranges and greens and darks. And then another one, these are carbon rillies. These guys are kind of blue fronts, blue backs with a kind of white in the middle. All right, well, there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. If you've got any questions or comments, be sure and leave those down below, and I'll get you back an answer just as soon as I can. So thanks again, guys, and God bless.